morning, Front Porch Artists. Today I'm going to show you how to make your spooky treehouse that came in your Boo Box. This is a fun 3D house that you can make and decorate with things that came in your kit, as well as maybe adding some decorations of your own. And when it's all done, you'll pop it up and you can store your candy in it. And maybe it's a secret hiding place for you. So let's get started. The only thing you'll need that is not in your kit are a pair of scissors. So have those with you. The other thing I like to do when I'm working with glue or paint is to protect my work surface. And I've showed you this before, and I just fold this up and reuse it. So you can see remnants of past projects on here. I'm going to turn this over so it's a little less distracting. All right, and there's another project on there. I'm going to be using this glue, but this glue right here that came in your kit either last month or this month is the exact same. It's tacky glue or craft glue, and it sticks a lot better than school glue. So when you're doing things with heavyweight paper, you want to use a craft glue like this, which is the same as this. So let's get started. You can start with your house either flat like this, which is 2D, two-dimensional. It has height and it has width, but it really doesn't have any depth. So this is a little bit of an engineering project too, which is so fun. So I'm going to start with mine in 2D and then I will pop it out to 3D when we're finished. So what I'm going to do is empty out the things that came in my kit. And if you were one of our customers and got our Super Kid kit, you'll have some fancy scissors and you can pull those out. You have some black paper and we're going to set that aside for the moment. And I want you to get your foam, your fun foam. These are trapezoids. And so those are actually made to fit on the roof. And you'll see how they're cut here. And we just cut these right here into strips and then we'll layer them. And it kind of makes shingles for your roof. I don't have my fancy scissors with me today, so I'm just going to use these plain ones. But if you want to cut with fancy scissors, that makes it extra fun. You can do something like this. And if you hold the scissors straight and wiggle the craft foam, that gives you a wiggly line. It's easier for me than wiggling the scissors, but you could try it both ways. So I have 3 strips of that. When you glue fun foam onto something, you want to be sure to be generous. That means use a lot of glue. And so this is the trapezoid shape right here. And you can see it's a little wider at the bottom than it is at the top. So I'm going to give this a little shake. This is a bigger container than you have, so it takes longer for the glue to get to the bottom. But you want to put a good amount of glue on there. So I have 3 strips, because that's what I cut my trapezoid in. And these are wide, medium, and narrower. So I'm going to put the wide one on first at the bottom, the medium one on next, and I overlap it a little bit. And if you look at the shingles on your house or on your apartment or where you live, you will see that they overlap, and that's so water can run off. And then I'm just going to press that down and hold it for a minute. And we just do that on the wide part of the house here. The narrow part we leave empty. So that glue sticks really well. So I'm going to turn it over, and here's the other wide part here. I'm going to do the same thing. So let's cut this. And we can cut it into some fun things here. And you can see my left hand is wiggling. And this is going to be a spooky house, so I don't want it to look all perfect. All right, and I have a wide and a medium and a narrow. So wide, medium, narrow. And I'm going to put these on in that order because this is wide, medium, and narrow. And if you decide to do it differently, that is fine. You are the artist, but this is just how I'm choosing to do it. All right, I got some glue here. Put the cap back on my glue so it doesn't dry out or get on other stuff. I'm gonna put that down, and then the medium overlaps a little bit, and then the narrow one on top. All right, now our roof is done. Now I'm going to flip back over to this side, and I'm going to start adding some windows. So this is cardstock. It's heavyweight paper, and it cuts really easily. And you can just cut random shapes. On this one, I wanted my house to look spooky, so I didn't want perfectly square windows or rectangular windows. And so I cut them at angles, and that was kind of fun. So if you hold your paper in one hand and just cut with your scissors like that, I cut on an angle, and then cut that again, that'll give me just the right size for 2 windows. So I'm just going to make a pile of cuts first and then decide where I want to put them. So I'm going to cut this one. It's always good to cut away from yourself, like that, away from your fingers. These are child-safe scissors, so they aren't really going to do any damage, but it's a good habit to start when you're young. And then if you really like cutting, one thing that's fun to do is cut some curves. And if you hold it like this and move the paper around like that, it's a little tricky. I'm getting a nice curve for a doorway. I'm going to trim that off. I don't even know if I'm going to use all these pieces, but we'll have some options, and we can cut them smaller later. Okay. And you can see that the tacky glue has this on pretty securely, so we can lift it up. Now on my spooky house, I put a round one right there near the bottom so that it looks like a door. So I'll show you how to do that. So here's my rounded one, and I'm going to put the glue right on the piece of paper because I'm not exactly sure where I want to put it. So here it is. This is the bottom edge. Even when it's popped into 3D, that is going to be the bottom edge. So we've got that one there, and I think I want some windows a little bit smaller. So I cut that. I can probably leave the cap off my glue for this process since we're doing a bunch in a row. And you don't need a ton of glue on this. This sticks a lot more easily than Fun Foam does, so just a few dots is good. And let's see, we're going to make that kind of crooked. And that one kind of crooked. All right, and now you have some shapes that came in your box. So you'll have a ghost. So I'm going to put this on here, and I like the ghost up on the roof. So I'm going to put him up here like this. And you'll also have a cat. Hold it out there. So I have the cat on the roof in this one, and that's kind of fun, but I put my ghost on the roof, so I'm going to put him down below. And just a couple of dots. If you leave your glue on the side rather than standing it up, that makes it come out easier. All right, he's walking right on the ground. Wow, he's a big cat. All right, and then this is a layered jack-o'-lantern. Now this yellow is cut so that it can go right behind here, and then it looks like your jack-o'-lantern is all lit up. Now you can choose not to use this, and that's fine too. And then you could have a yellow pumpkin and an orange pumpkin. Or I'm going to put it behind like this. So because this has holes in it, I'm going to put a couple of dots of glue right on this part. Craft glue is much thicker than school glue. And so that's why it takes a little bit longer to shake it down. And you don't need a lot. You really don't want it all globbing out. And there's a bumpy edge to the bottom of the yellow, and there's a bumpy edge to the bottom of this. So you can put that in there. All right, and look, he's all lit up. Isn't that fun? And then you have a little bit of green paper too. I'm going to give him a nice green stem. So I'm just going to cut kind of a crooked part like that. And then I'm going to pop this on the back, because then you won't see where it connects. I'm going to put the narrow part on the bottom. So let's see. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my house over because I've done some decorating on this side, but this side only has a roof so far. All right, so I'm going to put that pumpkin right there. And then because this is my house and I can design it any way I like, I'm going to put another door here. And this is a square one, not a curved one. or square-ish. And then you have a trick or treat sign, and you can choose to use these or not. You don't have to use everything that's in there. And I'm going to put that right on there. All right, I'm just going to let that sit here for just a minute. And because this is on nice and tight, I'm just going to press them down, make sure that the glue is holding nice and tight. And then you can add some other things to the ends here, more windows on the ends of your house, and you can keep adding after you pop it up. But here's the really fun part. Okay, so now we take it, hold it in your hands like this, see, and then you're just gonna press and it'll pop up, and then reach inside and just press the middle down. And if you need a grown-up to help you with this, you can. All right, and then you can kind of bend it a little bit. And look at that, we have a 3D house. And then the end flaps, the rounded ones, will fold in a little bit. They have a little tiny slat that'll pop out there and right there. And then that kind of is like a lock. And then these are kind of like your keys that go in here. And you can have a grown-up help you with this if you need to. But then this really makes it look like a house. Do that on one end, and then on the other. And there it is, your spooky treat house. And then you can push this down and then pop your candy inside. So have fun, guys, and have fun trick-or-treating. Save me some candy.